I need your help. I need to make an announcement on something. I just got a word last night, and we're trying to make this every announcement every time we're going to be talking to you, so you might get tired of this announcement. But last night we did the Man in the Moon for the first time. It was all put together. It's an enormous undertaking. It's taken us a year to put it together. It's never ever been done anything like it, and it is absolutely remarkable. I will tell you that if you are have an aversion to loud sounds or music, I highly recommend that you go to CVS and get some earplugs. I'm not kidding. The shells alone for the reenactment of World War II are going to be banned in the next few months from the United Nations and the country, and that's why we specifically asked for them. It is also concert level sound, so it is very loud. It is not like anything you've ever seen us do before. So we're trying to get a big bucket full of earplugs in case anybody wants them, but it is loud at the fireworks, and I'm not kidding you, you will feel like you just witnessed Hiroshima at one point. It is an amazing thing. Now, here's what I need to ask your favor for. I would ask that you would pray, because we've had bad weather coming in. Last night there were thunderstorms, and this just the moon itself has never been made before. We had to engineer it ourselves. It's made out of movie screen, and it is very delicate. And last night the men were up all night just holding on and bolting everything down, the movie screens and the moon. And the moon is a giant kite, as are the movie screens. And I just got off the phone a couple of minutes ago, and they said that it won't make another night like this. And I'd like to ask you if you are strong and willing to stay up all night, because I have to give my tech crew rests. But if you're willing to protect the moon, if you will, if you would write to protect@glennbeck.com, or is it protect or protector? I think it's protector. Write to both. One will send it back to you. It's either protect or protector@glennbeck.com. We just set it up. But if you know anybody, or if you are willing to, literally, I mean, it's like the Mayflower. Just grab onto the ropes and protect it for the night. We sure would appreciate it. Other than that, I can't believe that the two of us dressed like this. We went through David Barton's closet. And wait until you see the way David.
And he's a foot shorter than us, so this is really uncomfortable. Yes.
And wait until you see David, the way David dressed him. And I said, "You've got to be kidding me." Wait.
It's a little embarrassing. By the way, he's not kidding about the fireworks. It's going to be crazy loud. They will be banned. He's not kidding about that, right? They will be banned. And so enjoy your 16-ounce beverage sodas as well. Get as much as you can now. No, seriously, it's absolutely right. I was told a long time ago, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. I want you all to know today, every single one of us are in the right room. Because there's a guy coming up next who is brilliant. He's an encyclopedia of knowledge, a wealth of knowledge, a historian, an author. And just to kind of get you guys prepped and going on this, just to get ready for the historical data you're going to receive, I'm going to quiz you guys. I'm going to test your historical knowledge. Okay, true or false? The Declaration of Independence was written in Philadelphia. True? It's false. It was written in ink. Okay. See, you guys, a little sharper. The Declaration of Independence, where was it signed? At the bottom. Oh, jeez. I can't tell July 4th jokes on July 4th because you've already received the emails on them. Thanks a lot, guys. No, sincerely though, the guy coming up, as Glenn said, I dressed the part for him. Glenn dressed the part for him. He didn't dress the part for him, which is really strange, and you'll see that in a minute. But David Barton is one of the most knowledgeable historians of our time, while currently serving as a member of the Mercury One Board of Directors. Barton is also founder and president of Wall Builders, a national pro-family organization that presents America's forgotten history and heroes with an emphasis on our moral, religious, and constitutional heritage. He's an amazing guy. Look up to him greatly, and he's got a fantastic story and such a wealth of knowledge to share with all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, the incomparable David Barton.
We were together and everywhere I went, I always wore red, white, and blue. So here it is, 4th of July, I've got no red, white, and blue. So I've got a closet full. I have 14 different sets of red, white, and blue shirts and everything. And literally, I have that. So what we're going to do today is Independence Day. 4th of July is actually Independence Day. And in talking about that, I want to take you back to the time that they did the Declaration of Independence. At the time that they approved the separation of Great Britain on Independence Day, John Adams had something to tell his wife, Abigail. What he told her on that day is very significant. He looked back at what they had done, and he told her, he said, Abigail, he says, I'm apt to believe that this day will be celebrated by succeeding generations, the great anniversary festival. He said, I think what we've done today is going to be celebrated in the future by subsequent generations, which is pretty wild. Not many of us think about what we do today and how people will see it 100 years or 200 years or 300 years down the road. He did. He said, I think they're going to look at what we did today and say, hey, this should be our great anniversary. And the question is, should we celebrate what we did today? Yeah. Well, his answer to Abigail was pretty simple. He said, yeah, this day ought to be commemorated. How? He said, this day, Independence Day, ought to be commemorated as the day of deliverance. How? He said, this day, Independence Day, should be commemorated as a day of deliverance by solemn acts of devotion to God Almighty. His view of Independence Day is a religious holiday. It was that way for generations in America. It's only in our modern history that we've secularized everything and said, oh, it's a secular holiday. It was not a secular holiday in their mind or in their thinking. Now, what they did 237 years ago, we all appreciate today. Look at the form of government they've given us, you look at the documents under which we govern ourselves. 231 years, you take the United Nations, and this year there's 192 nations of the United Nations. And that number goes up and down every year, depending on who's out of war, who's out of conflict or revolution. This year we're at 192 nations. You find somebody else with the stability we've had 237 years under the same piece of paper? No, nobody's come close to that. As a matter of fact, if you take Europe, which is considered to be a stable part of the world, in the same period of time we've had one constitution. France has had 15 constitutions. If you take Poland, since 1921, they've had 7 constitutions. Russia's had 4 constitutions since 1917. Afghanistan's had 5 constitutions since 1923. You take any other nation, it seems like they average a revolution every generation or so. Not us. We're so used to stability, we just think that's normal, and it is not normal. What we have is unique. It is unprecedented. What we have in the way of stability, that's unprecedented, but what we have in the way of economic prosperity is unprecedented. You see, America is a tiny nation, only 4% of the world's population. It's nothing much. And yet, this year, we will produce 24% of the world's GDP. Now, it's not because we have more natural resources. Asia's got more natural resources than America, so does South America, so does Africa. But we're able to take what we have and produce more with it than any other nation in the world. We're so prosperous, we don't even think of it, and we've got all the economic trouble we all know about. And we're still so prosperous, we don't think about how prosperous we are. But if you look at figures from the Census Bureau, now remember, every 10 years the Constitution requires an enumeration of people. So that's the census we had in 2010. If you look at figures from the 2010 census, if you happen to live below the poverty level in America, and we don't want anyone to live below the poverty level, but if you do, if you happen to live below the poverty level in America, according to figures from the Census Bureau, you're more likely to own a telephone, a television, you're more likely to have an air conditioner, you're more likely to have an automobile. Grab this. You're more likely to eat more red meat and have more square footage of living space than the average middle class in Europe. Did you get that? If you're in poverty in America, you're higher than middle class in Europe. That's why everybody in the world wants to come to America and live in poverty. They just be in poverty here, they're higher than anywhere else in the world. We're so blessed we don't even recognize that. But this is the way we've been for generations. 1831, a man came to America, Alexis de Tocqueville, and he termed the coin American exceptionalism. He said, man, what these guys do in America, this is exceptional. I don't think any other nation will get to what they. This is American exceptionalism. Now, the problem we have today is a lot of people hate American exceptionalism. I deal with professors all the time who think this is a really wicked thing. America is not exceptional. We're not special. We shouldn't be proud and cocky. It has nothing to do with proud and cockiness. American exceptionalism, let's define the term. American exceptionalism, it describes something very specific. American exceptionalism describes an unprecedented stability, freedom, and prosperity that we have. Now, that stuff there came from the result of institutions and policies that came from a unique governing philosophy. See, American exceptionalism is just not our decision that we're exceptional. American exceptionalism is statistically verifiable. And and look at the sequence this happens in. You have a philosophy that leads you to institutions and policies. Those institutions and policies lead you to prosperity, freedom, and stability. So the most important part of this is the philosophy. If you get the philosophy wrong, you don't get the right results. Jesus told us a good tree can't produce bad fruit, a bad tree can't produce good fruit. If you get the seeds right, you're going to get the right stuff. So what was the philosophy that created American exceptionalism?